Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos of the paid requests. This time for Travis. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Links are in the info box, either there or over there. And this time you wanted me to talk about the 2023, give or take. Some say 2024. It's a film called Infested, which is a killer spider movie. Only this is in France. It is a French film. There may be a dubbed version, but I could not find one. The only one I could find was the subtitle version. And premise of the story is you get this setup where these spiders come from, where you get a group of people getting these spiders out of the sand and stuff. They're smoking them out. One of them attacks one of them. And you tell these guys don't really care about each other because they don't try to help the guy. They just grab the spiders and they kill the guy, and then they put the spiders into the black market. One thing leads to another, and it gets to the hands of this kid named Caleb who loves taking care of animals. He lives in an apartment building somewhere in France. He is with his sister. There's a little bit of backstory about their mom passing away and them arguing about the power bill and some about, well, we need to move out. No, we can't because Mom stayed here. And a lot of bickering and arguing. And the acting isn't bad. It's not bad at all. Didn't really care about the characters one way or the other. I was pretty indifferent to them. Caleb, he's got a decent heart on his shoulders, but he's also a guy that will do crimes, but they're fairly harmless. But he'll sell you sneakers that might have fallen from the back of a truck or something of that nature, to make some extra money. So again, he likes taking care of animals. He has this thing in this room with all these little different types of critters. At one point, he has a spider, but he thinks it made this egg or sac thing, which it didn't. Or cocoon. I guess you could say he thinks the spider was in this cocoon and it's in there. Unbeknownst to them, it is an egg sac. The spider escaped into this pair of shoes that this guy sold to another guy. So the other guy is putting on the shoes, but then he gets bit, freaks out, tries to kill it, kills one, but then there's like 100 little teeny tiny baby spiders crawling up on him. He just bit, the venom kills him. People come in, they quarantine the apartment so they can't leave. So you have your characters now trapped in this apartment building while these spiders are running around. But it's one of those things where there's some decent effects in there for the budget they had. There are some moments where if you're arachnophobic, you'll definitely get some creepy elements in there. Spiders coming out of the drain, or they stomp on one spider, and when they let their foot go, there's like 100 little teeny spiders, just like this was pregnant, and stomping to burst all of it there. I think though there's a lot of moments they could have really capitalized on that. Spiders coming out of noses, spiders coming out of mouths, or going into mouths, or up noses, and like really freak the viewer out. I think they could have done that. Like I said, for the good chunk of the movie, it was just fairly indifferent. It's not a bad looking film. The character discussions weren't that intriguing to me. Caleb's buddies, they have their own little possible criminal activities. Some deal with drugs and other stuff. I wasn't really interested in any of that stuff. It didn't pull me in. That's the thing, like the story, the dialogue, the bickering between brother and sister. I got very disinterested in the film. That's why I would say I liked Sting, the other Spider movie that came out recently, more so. Because it dealt with one spider. And while the little girl had issues with, not in terms of acting, but they made her a bit too bratty. But At least I liked the stepfather character who tried to do his best, even though I felt sorry for him in this situation because he had the bitchy wife, a bratty stepdaughter. I just felt sorry for the stepfather. I'm like rooting for him to get the hell out of this shit outfit. But that, and I thought the director had a little bit more tenacity with the visual style. The opening credits of that film, where a spider has landed and it's going through this dollhouse, but like the camera's moving throughout all the dollhouse without cutting to signify when the spider gets bigger later and is so big next to the real furniture, like the little regular spider is to the toy dollhouse furniture. Like ideas like that, I thought were pretty not only neat to see, but I thought it delved a bit more to practical effects compared to this one. It didn't seem like it really did much in terms of new or unique or fascinating for me to, other than be like, okay, it's not horrible, it's not the worst, but I'm kind of, following along because I like, I'm a sucker for these type of creature feature movies. This lady, who I don't know her name, but she's the custodian. I kind of wanted her to be the hero, just how gun ho she was and trying to clear everything out, spraying raid everywhere in the basement and in the vents and stuff. But no, she gets spider to the face. Dead bodies are found, and the story goes from there. So it just, there's one scene that I thought they had some possible tension. In the spoilers now. There's a scene in a hallway where there's about 5 people, and the hallway, you can flip the light, but the light only stays on for like a minute, and they established this earlier. So there's this hallway with all these webs and spiders, and they flip the switch, and they gotta be careful, but they only have a minute. If there are more scenes like that, okay, like that's an interesting idea. We got a time limit to try to help create some tension. I kind of wish more of the movie had those elements situated into it. I mean, the movie doesn't really have a big, goofy sense of humor like Eight-Legged Freaks, or a more subtle wink type of humor like Arachnophobia. It's not insanely creepy where everything's done practical like Arachnophobia. It's real spiders coming out of everywhere. The whole finale, beyond the TV, out of the sink, like real spiders everywhere. You just marvel at them doing that, because nowadays it just mostly be CG. And like I said, I think Steen had a little bit more unique aesthetic of the director. Like, he didn't have the best script in terms of the characters, but I thought his directing was a bit more to talk about compared to this. Like, this was more than acceptable. As I said, spoilers from here on. There's a point they throw a Molotov cocktail and the spiders go crazy. They get to the parking garage. The cops are there, where they beat up the people and tie them up. And part of me is like, why are we doing this? And why are you doing this? I mean, granted, maybe because maybe we think you're infected, but if that's the case, then get them to the hospital. Does it be venom in their veins? But like, why are you tying them up and beating them up? And is this like supposed to be some political thing that it's not really doing too well with the poor people and the cops? If so, that it's doing a bad job with it. Are they worried that it's going to spread an infection? Do they think it's an infection? But at the same time, there's not a whole lot of scenes with the cops to showcase their elevation of paranoia that this thing may spread. Or it's like, no, nothing has really showcased it's a virus. I'm like, no, it's venom. Like, people being poisoned. So why would they think that? So I don't really get why the cops were doing that. One guy got enough venom in his veins, he said screw it, and went through a door, I guess, to screw over the cops. And then there's a A lot of spiders come out, some fairly big. There's a firefight, but the firefight you don't see a whole lot. It's in a parking garage. It's dimly lit. There's some shaky cam in there. The brother and sister, and I think maybe another two characters. They hide in a van. You don't get a whole lot of them fighting or action or like even at least in Steen. How do you feel about the characters? At least you get the satisfaction of your two characters, your stepfather doing the first part, he gets electrocuted. Then the girl finishes off kind of like the Terminator. You Terminator, fucker, you know. Yeah. At least you get that satisfaction, like, yeah, the heroes killed the bad guy, they killed the creature. You know, that sense of satisfaction the viewer wants. You don't really get that because you don't get the characters killing, you know, that first spider and that first spider team up, and Caleb kills this thing in revenge or retribution or anything of the sort. You don't really get that. It's just they get in a van, they drive off, they just stop by a big spider in front. Caleb kind of wanders around, says turn the lights off. It does. It just skitters away. So Caleb opens up the thing, they drive off into the sunlight because these spiders don't like the sun. And then everything's fine. Because the building is clear, they demolish the building. It's funny, they have a wall, wall of memory in memory of. Well, on the wall they have Caleb's picture. I'm sitting there going, so he's dead? But no, then they show another scene of him doing one or two things. I'm like, well, if he's alive, why is he on the picture in memory of? But he's alive. Aren't those mainly known for people who are dead or missing, not alive? So I don't really get why he's on the wall if he's alive. The memory wall. Maybe ego. Their picture's on the wall, mine might as well be on the wall too. So again, it's not an awful film. It's not a terrible film, but it's a film that was just very, very middle of the road, uninterested. Like I said, Steen, I know some people say this is better than Steen. I don't know why. I thought this had a much more tighter story with better effects, bit more unique camera work, directing style, and at least somewhat of a satisfying ending where you kill the creature. Here is kind of, okay, your main character survived. Not that I care a whole lot about him. But they don't get that savage of killing, destroying, burning the creatures or anything. So, just wasn't for me. Again, I don't hate the film, but it just wasn't for me. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.